Hi, my name's John Bolton. I'm the Managing Director for Corus Teesside Cast Products. In December 2009, we unfortunately had to announce the mothballing of steelmaking and ironmaking here on Teesside. That followed a decision by the consortium in April 2009 to walk away from a 10-year supply agreement. In the months that followed their decision, we tried to fill the plant with orders, internal and external. We reduced our costs significantly. However, in that time period, we lost around £150 million. So therefore, we were left with no choice but to make the announcement in December. So therefore, sadly, on February the 19th, we had to stop making iron and steel here on Teesside. That was a significant day and a very emotional day for those who were involved in it. And we decided that it would be good to record the events from that day. I hope you will see this DVD as a celebration, and it is a tribute and a thank you to all of you who were involved, not just in that day, but in the time, in the months leading up to that day. It's a thank you to you, our employees. It's also a thank you to your families, your friends, and even the wider community, everybody who has supported us over the previous 18 months. However, I would like to leave you with one message, is that I don't think this is the end of the story. I do think there is still hope. There are people who we are talking to who could be interested in restarting the assets here. So I do hope, I genuinely hope, that one day we will see iron and steel being made again here on Teesside.
I started work for the British steel industry in 1978, so I've been here over 31 years now.
I've worked for Corus for 23 years now.
I arrived here at 29-year-old, and I've been here 20 years since.
I've spent 20 years here. 35 years, over 10 years.
I've been here 31 years.
32 years.
35 years now.
I've worked here at the blast furnace since 1978.
I come to here 79.
1979.
1980.
I've been at the plant 33 years. I honestly and seriously never believed this was ever going to happen.
I've worked here 31 and a half years, since I was 16, and the emotions are very sad. My emotions are very sad. Very upsetting, to be honest.
It's the end of the furnace and steelworks as we know it, so yeah, there's a bit of pride in there, and there's a lot of hurt as well at the moment, and I mean that from my heart.
So your own personal thoughts, first of all, on a day like today?
Well, it's a very sad day, and obviously my first thoughts are with everybody in the team out there, their families, the suppliers, contractors, because although this was announced back in May, they've had to live with that for the last 10 months. And at the same time as I'm sad about that, I think they've worked admirably, and I'm very proud of the fact that they've continued to work with this hovering over them for so long. Well, today and tomorrow we'll be actually physically mothballing the steel-making assets of Teesside Cast Products. It's obviously a very significant day, a very sad day in many ways.
In some ways it's been a very difficult day today, looking at what we're going to have to do to the blast furnace in the next 36 hours. A blast furnace has life and fire in it, and we're going to slowly take that out of it. But we're doing it for a purpose. We're doing it so that the blast furnace can be left in a condition whereby the operations could resume in the future. So it's mixed feelings.
Today, for me, and the rest of the representatives on site, it is about the people that work here. It's about the families, it's about their emotions, it's about their needs and what we can do for them, and that's what it's got to be about. we should be very, very proud, because together we've made Teesside, and you know, it's our fathers and our grandfathers and families, and it's a community thing making steel, and Teesside's about steel, and it's about each and every one of you.
I'm here today because my dad's worked here for over 30 years. We've been to all the marches, we try to help out as much as we can. Just here to show that last little bit of support in the hopes that somebody's going to come in and do something positive and save the Corus Teesside Steelworks.
The operations of the blast furnace will be normal until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. At that time we will put the very last charge of raw materials into the top of the blast furnace. And over the next 10 to 15 hours that material will be consumed and converted into liquid iron and liquid slag. And by tomorrow morning the blast furnace will then be empty of raw materials but with a pool of residual iron left behind. The second stage of the shutdown is what we call the salamander tap, and that's where we drill one-off holes through the lining of the blast furnace to reach that molten iron, and that will draw off what we call the salamander iron. At the end of that exercise, the blast furnace is then empty and ready to be mothballed for the future.
It was 1979 when we first come here, and just coming round in the minibus, you know, everybody looked, good God, what have we come to here? You know, we didn't know really the scale of the place.
You come in and you see the size of this beast, and you don't really start to appreciate it until someone puts it into perspective for me, and that was done by someone telling me that it just fits inside St Paul's Cathedral. And that's a pretty good analogy, because when you see the furnace open, it actually looks like a cathedral on the inside. It's huge.
We've been making steels for 150 years, grandfathers, fathers, dads, uncles, mums. We've worked together, they work in very hard conditions, and that bonds people.
It's not just a working environment. We have 25 guys on one shift here, and I put money, every one of those 25 guys, their best friend works on their shift.
I've known Mick 30 years. I brought him to work for 25, something like that. We're like a family, we're a shift family. We do everything together, we go everywhere, we have parties together. We go to all the christenings, all the weddings, all the funerals. So we look after each other.
A lot of the lads here I've never seen more of than the wife and my own family. We know we're going to stay friends. You don't work with somebody for 31 years, and it sometimes put your life in their hands and come through it and not have those bonds.
What I'll miss the most is working with the operators here. They know things about making steel that you can't read in a book. Every ladle of steel is unique, and they know from working here over years and years, and they'll give you that commitment. That's what I'll remember, the happy times and the successes that we've had, all working together.
Just seeing all the workers, even though they're all still in there today, seeing them all come over the top of the hill was quite possibly the saddest thing I've ever seen.
It's a sad day today, but I'll take all the friendship, all the people I've met all my life. I've met some fantastic people in my life through here. Old hands who showed me how to job, but they've been there 20 years clearly, and I take all that. I've got a few friends left who are 70-odd-year-old, 77. We still see them now and again. They were nice people, and they're like our granddads. They'll be here.
Family.
Family, yeah.
That's all we had, just one big family.
We're choking up now, you can see, can't you?
The workforce have been through the ringer, the absolute roller coaster of emotions, of highs and lows, and throughout it all they've shown integrity and pride and continue to deliver steel even when it's been very, very hard.
I don't think that any workforce anywhere in the world could say that they've worked as hard under the circumstances that we've had here.
We're geeing each other up, you know. Anybody's getting down, we sort of, you know, give them a kick up the backside and say, oh, we don't be like that.
At this moment in time, we have to do a job. We've got a job to do. We're going to do it to the procedure. We're going to do it well. And when we finish, we're going to pat each other on the back and say, well done, lads. And then I think it's going to be when it really hits you.
My message to the people who are going to be leaving the plant over the coming weeks and months is, first of all, thank you. You've worked tremendously hard, you've done everything you could, and we owe you a debt of gratitude for everything you've put into the industry. Well, this is a landmark event here today. I mean, we're all here on the plant as a whole because it's the last day of steel making.
We've got the last cast of steel going through the plant. We're preparing for the mothballing, and the blast furnace has been taken off now, so this is the last irons come into the steel plant and we're making the last cast of steel.
As you can see, there are loads of people here. Obviously, this is not our normal manning levels. There are people who have come from all over the plant to see this event.
It's a monumental day for people here, not just to the steelworks here, but the whole of Teesside. I think it's a monumental day. It's huge emotions. People in this area, they've got steel in their character, in their blood. It's part of the whole area, and to see the last cast of steel coming through the plant today, it's just extremely emotional for everybody.
Do you expect this place to ever open again?
And maybe it's an emotional answer, but I hope it will. We are doing everything we can to make sure the plant is in absolutely the right condition, so that when hopefully somebody does come along, we can restart it.
There will still be a lot of productive work being done on the site. The coke ovens at both at Redcar and South Bank are going to continue to produce coke. So there will still be steel-making activities on Teesside, hopefully for many years to come.
In my heart, I hope they do come back to Teesside. This is where it was formed. It comes to the hills. It belongs here. It belongs in Teesside.
If we have to stop making steel for a period of time, well, that's what it has to be. But it won't deter me and many other trade unionists from the site to keep fighting for what we should be doing on Teesside, and what we do on Teesside to make steel.
But I always say the Teesside steelworker and all around the community are the best in the world. We are the best at what we do. We are still the best steel workers, the best iron makers, and no one else can take that away from us.